every citizen the right to bear arms. For more on the gun debate in the United States, we are joined by Alan Gottlieb. He is the founder of the Second Amendment Foundation. That is a group that protects gun owner rights, and he joins us in Arizona. Alan, good to talk to you. I know you took in, I would expect that you took in. Yeah, it's good to talk to you. I would expect that you took in the event, the press event held in Washington, D.C. Are you in favor of armed guards or some configuration of that in schools?
Well, I think, quite frankly, it's about the only real solution that has a real way of affecting anything.
Yeah.
Right now we have these gun-free school zones that are really phony because they aren't gun-free. I mean, we have a problem with, criminals and violent mental people coming to schools with firearms, and there's nothing you can do to protect yourself. The teachers can't protect themselves. The students are vulnerable. It's the only way you can do it. These kids at these schools are the most vulnerable people in our society, and there's no way to protect them otherwise. So that part of the NRA statement, I think, makes a lot of sense, and doing it on a volunteer basis with retired police officers, retired military people, people who have had the training, leaving it on a local basis so the parents decide if they want to do it or not do it, and doing it in a way that doesn't cost a whole lot of money. I think it makes a whole lot of sense and would let violent people know that you can't come in this and have a target-rich environment and kill innocent people and get away with it. I think it makes a lot of sense.
So, Alan, let's just tease this out a bit. So, why stop with armed guards? I've heard some suggest let's do armed teachers. Do you go that far?
Well, I think what everybody's talking about now is let the local school districts and local parents decide how to do it. If they would like to see teachers being trained and being armed on a volunteer basis, that's fine. But it should be done on a local level with parental approval and done by each particular school district as a way to do it. I don't care how it's done. I just think these children shouldn't be left to be innocent prey, to sit there and become victims and have nobody to protect them at all.
Okay, I'm going to continue to tease this out. You say let the individual districts, the states decide. As you know, there are multiple gun laws all over the United States. And in some states, young people as young as 16 can own a firearm. What about 18-year-old high schoolers, adults in many ways in the United States? Should they be allowed? I just want to find out how far this goes with you.
Yeah. I don't think anybody is proposing that the students themselves, even if they're 18 years old, take guns to school. That's not what anybody's talking about. They're talking about, adults, trained people, people who have experience with firearms, being able to do it.
So you would draw a line somewhere?
Where, parents and local school districts. Oh, of course. I mean, I don't want kindergartens carrying guns to school. I mean, that's not what the point of this is. But the problem is when you have crazy people and people, who are really evil, meant on, doing mass destruction, and you have to have some way to stop them. Let's be honest about it. And right now in the United States, we've held up a sign that says, gun-free zone, nobody here to stop you. That doesn't make any sense at all. It's an open invitation for violence.
So Wayne LaPierre said in the news conference that the truth is, and I'm reading it here, that our society is populated by an unknown number of genuine monsters, people that are deranged, so evil, so possessed by voices and driven by demons that no sane person can ever possibly comprehend them. And then he lumped Adam Lanza in this group, who we know has some mental illness. Are you comfortable with Wayne LaPierre making that kind of statement about people with mental illness in America?
Well, let me say I'm not exactly happy the way he said it.
Okay.
But what I'd like to say is that in Connecticut, the state says there are 600,000 people in Connecticut with mental illness who are not getting treatment. Those 120,000 of them have shown violent tendencies. Under current Connecticut law in that particular state, there's no way to force them to get any kind of treatment. And so what happens is they're running around the streets, knowing we know they're violent, we know they're out there, and there's nothing we can really do about it. We need to reform some of our mental health policies in the United States and provide treatment for people like that. Wayne didn't get that far and say that, and I think he probably should have.
Alan, you are willing to draw a line that young people shouldn't be armed, even if it's legal for them to carry arms and to own arms in particular states? They shouldn't be taking those weapons to school. Are you willing to extend that line in any further areas in legislation? What about high-capacity magazines? What about assault rifles? Would you be in favor of some kind of ban on those weapons or on those high-capacity magazines?
Well, let me start by let me start by saying, young people up to 18 years old aren't allowed to carry firearms. They're allowed to own them,
True.
But they're not allowed to carry them around our streets.
True.
So that it's not quite as you expressed it. When it comes to high-capacity magazines and or these so-called assault rifles, and here's what the problem is: they really fire semi-automatically. They may look like quote-unquote the military versions, but they don't operate the same way. And the problem is they don't operate any differently than any other semi-automatic rifle in the United States or anywhere else. It's just cosmetic characteristics: a flash suppressor, a bayonet lug, a folding stock, a handle, pistol grip. So what you're doing is you're banning guns on a cosmetic characteristic, not on caliber or rate of firepower. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. A gun doesn't have a finger to pull its own trigger or a brain to hate with. The problem is we've got to take care of the people out there that have those brains to hate with and create violence. If we don't take them off the streets, it doesn't matter. The biggest mass murder we've had at a school in the United States was done with explosives, not with firearms. It's the people behind it we have to really worry about. All
right, you're right in saying that young people can't carry but can own, but many watching us would be surprised to know that a 16-year-old in 4 states, Maine, Alaska, Minnesota, and New York, can legally own a weapon, and that in the state of Montana, you can legally own a weapon at the age of 14. Alan, appreciate it. Thank you for your time. Alan Gottlieb has been.
Yeah, that's true, but you can't buy it. You need an adult to purchase it for you.
Okay. Alan, appreciate it. Thank you for your time. And the latest now on some breaking news we've been